Hey, good morning, friends. It's Sam from Maryland Magna Fishing and Metal Detecting. I want to do a quick video giving you guys some info on how to do research for both metal detecting and magna fishing. The biggest tool I use for magna fishing is Google Earth. I'll just sit there and play around and look for like bridges. Excuse me. But one thing I highly suggest is print out an image of the area and then physically drive over there and put eyes on it, because I've had probably four bridges close to me that look super promising. And I got over there and I think all but one had no place to park, or if there was a place to park, you'd have to walk, a great distance. The other bridge had no shoulder whatsoever. I mean, it would have been extremely hazardous to try to stand there. That just saves you from packing your gear up, driving over there and going, oh crap, I got nowhere to park. I do a lot of mine in the county. I live in county parks. Excuse me. What I did last year, I emailed, actually it was about a year ago, the head of the county parks and recreations, and his secretary contacted me about a week later, and the lady said, I've never even heard of magnet fishing. I had to go online and look it up. And in my initial email I sent, I mentioned, like, for fishing piers, I would not magnet fish near anybody that was out there either fishing or crabbing. And I stressed about any metallic debris I pull up. I didn't say trash, I said debris that I would take with me. As far as, excuse me, any other trash I were to find, I would take that, take that with me. So when she called me, she goes, yeah, I spoke to my boss and he is thrilled to death. So I had carte blanche. There's a couple places I go. I haven't been probably since early this year. I need to go back. I know from my county, if you're a veteran or active duty military, all you have to do is show an ID and you get in free, which is a nice perk. Now, metal detecting, I do use Google Earth, but one of the things you really need to do, say for instance, you get permission for a farm field, go online and try to find old maps for the county, and then look for that particular area to try to locate where, if there were residences there. My main permission dates back to 1697, and between myself and Cat Marin, we've done a lot of research. It's pretty difficult because the maps, we have one from the 1750s, I think the other's 1850s. It's hard to walk out in the field and see where there was a residence listed and walk out and physically find it. There's one main feature in the field. It's a cove that comes in, and the person that used to own it, I've known him his whole life, and I know the current owner too. But the previous owner, his dad had, back in the 60s or 70s, had made two dikes across this cove to create ponds. So we can't just walk out and say, all right, we'll go 125 yards out and boom, X marks the spot. Now this property is broken up into 4 sections. The farmer has done what's called no-till for several years, which means he just comes in the spring, he sprays herbicide down, and then they plant. And then in the fall he harvests, and then rinse and repeat. So that's kind of good on the one hand because it doesn't disturb the soil. What we do is we'll go out and we'll walk the area, try to see like if there's any little pieces of brick, things like that, so it's indicative of a house. The one area we started going to earlier this year, excuse me, there were 2 different residences listed there. We didn't find hardly any brick bats, which was really shocking, but we found a lot of hunks of melted brass and copper. So what we're figuring is sometime back when, I guess we figured the house is probably in disrepair, so they just set it on fire. And then once it was completely burnt, they came back and hauled the bricks away, the non-flammable material. Another cool thing is Cat Marin belongs to Ancestry. So when we would look up on the map and see, for instance, a house is owned by, say, Fred Flintstone, and he would look that person up and he could go back and get census records, tax records. You could see if the person was either very rich or poor. So that also kind of helps give you an idea of what you're going to find. But just because you have a farm permission doesn't mean you're going to find stuff. You really have to do your research. I detected this particular property for about 4 years before Cat Marin started coming out, and I had a map for the county, and it didn't. I didn't really pay attention to it. There was just I gotta switch hands here. Excuse me, 2 areas that I'd focused on. So I was probably only covering maybe 15% of the field. Once Cat Marin started going out with me, we had 2 people, so we were searching more. One thing you can do, I use the heck out of those little wire, I call them surveyor flags. They're, I don't know, probably about 2 foot high, and they have like a 3x3, excuse me, little plastic flag on it. And what I'll do is I'll put them along the tree line to flag for a search grid. And then also, if it's a very wide field, I'll put them in the center and then just pick them up so the farmer doesn't run them over. But, for metal detecting, you've got to do your due diligence and do your research. But like I've said in all my videos, you're not going to go out and find gold and silver and, all kind of priceless artifacts. You're going to find more junk. And like my field that I go to, it's been in use for probably 200 plus years. So there's a hell of a lot of junk iron in there. Me and Cat Marin, we dig everything. I'll haul it out because I don't want to have to come back later and hit the same thing. But see, I also magnet fish, so the junk stuff, I put that in my scrap buckets. So, sorry about that, man. But yeah, just, you got to do your due diligence. Feel free to ask any questions. Hopefully, maybe I can get out this weekend. Cat Marin's got 2 bridges over near him that he thinks are going to be promising to go magnet fishing. So again, thanks for watching. If you're new, please subscribe, hit the like button. If there's something you want to see or you don't like, please leave a comment. I say this all the time, but it's just like if you take a test in school and a teacher gives you a D, but doesn't mark what questions you got wrong. How are you going to know what you're doing wrong? So, at the end of the day, I'm doing these videos for you guys. I have no desire of ever becoming monetized. I'll probably have another heart attack if that ever happens. I just want you guys to feel like you're right out there with us. That's why, especially my metal detecting videos are so long, because I show all the crap. Well, not all of it, but I show that we find just as much, if not more crap than we do good stuff. Another little thing, if you metal detect a farm field that's been used a long time, copper items are probably going to come out of there in pretty rough shape. I don't know what it is about those chemicals, but they're not kind to copper. I'd love to pop a coin out. Now, silver is a different story. Silver will get a little dark, but yeah, I'd love to pull up, a fatty Indian head and be like, wow, look at this thing. Looked like it just fell in the ground. But so far, that's never happened. But, again, I'm going to wrap this up because my voice is starting to go. But again, thanks for watching and have a great day.